Welcome to Intimate Conversations, where we support you healing heartbreak so that you can live fully embodied, unapologetically, and deliciously free, being exactly who you are. I'd be honored if you'd please subscribe if you haven't yet already, and definitely share us with a dear friend. Okay, you luscious creature, it is time to get intimate. Hello, you delicious people, and welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations with a sister who I have not seen or felt or touched or hugged in quite some time, Juliette. Juliette, how do you say your last name? Karaman? Am I saying it right?
Karaman, yeah.
Karaman, perfect, Karaman. We're going to give you all the ways that you can find her social media, website, etc. But let me tell you a little bit about her first. She is a coach. We went through master coach training together. She is a teacher. She is a mentor and a writer on relationships, trauma, healing, sex, and intimacy. Very rich credentials this woman has, from diploma in psychology, special needs education, to tantra training, a sexology bodyworker, and so much more. And she herself is a trauma survivor, so is deeply attuned to what her clients go through and has them understand the connection between the psyche and their bodies. And she specializes in how to move on from sexual trauma to rebuild an intimate relationship again, guiding her clients through carefully curated processes that restore trust and communication, merging her decades of conscious sexuality with the ability to hold deep space, has her clients regain confidence in their bodies, psyche, and relationship to themselves. She's also a sexy mama, the mother of 4, which I believe adds a whole extra layer to her wisdom. And as I said before, we went through master coach training together. And Juliette, your depth of presence, your depth of vulnerability, what you were going through with your own mother, your playfulness. I remember once even sitting at Sachin and Suzanne's house, and I think I sat in your lap, and you like grabbed my hair, and I'm just like, you're playful and sexy. We've gone to a lot of different places together, and it is such a delight to feature you and welcome you to my community. So love you.
Thank you for having me. It's fun. Yeah. I know it's been at least 2 years, right?
At least 2 years. Yeah. So let's do the catch up in those last 2 years. Just woman to woman, sister to sister. How are you? How have you been?
I'm good. I'm in a little bit of a dip. Just because I had surgery 2 weeks ago. And I thought, I'll just pop out of this. Yeah.
What happened, my love?
Well, I went in for ovarian cysts and polyps, and then they actually found out that there was a mass on my stomach and on my intestine. So they took that out, which just had me relive my sister, because that's what happened to her in cancer. And they just took everything out. But everything's fine. But it's, the body takes a bit of time. 2 weeks is nothing, to get over it.
No, you've probably got a really damn big scar. And
I've got some beautiful little scars, but hey.
Wow. So tell us what it brought up regarding your sister, regarding your own life, the fragility of life, the gratitude for life, gratitude for your body. Like what's it bringing up in you?
It's crazy, right? Because I went to my son's graduation, my eldest son's. He just graduated his master's.
Wow.
So, cap and gown, and for the last 2 years, no one could go to any graduation, right? Sure. So it was really bittersweet, because he's 24, I've got 4 kids, and I just thought, wow, what if this had been something, not so good? Yeah, my sister died at 52. I'm 54 now. So I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. So I was just like, oof, yeah. So it really just had me just realize it's like, yes, I've given a lot to other people the last few years, and now it's really time to take care of me.
Ooh, thank you. Yeah. Wow.
To be there for, so that I can be there for my 4 kids, and when they get married and have kids and be grandmother and all of that stuff.
Totally.
And for my partner and for myself.
Sexy MILF, sexy GILF, the whole thing.
I like GILF as well. That's fun.
Right? Thank you. Just to close the loop, how are you? Because the last time we were together, You also lost your mom. How has that integrated, and how does that play into everything?
Yeah, that's almost 3 years. That's just past 3 years ago, in
Yeah.
July 17th. Um, yeah, the last 5 years, it was my sister. Then a year later, it was my father, and then my mother committed euthanasia. So it was like grief has really played a massive, massive part in my life the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm very at ease with it,
Yeah.
and there are days that I really miss them. I just
Sure.
miss physically not being able, like I'll get on the phone and I'll text them. I'm like, oh shit, I can't do that. I still have their numbers and everything.
Oh,
Or I'll pick up the phone, or just like, something like you want to smell them, or you just
yes.
want to have someone, like after the operation, it's like, oh God, I just want to tell mom that everything's okay. It's like,
Mm.
oh, she knows everything's okay. She's out there looking for me. But it's
Yeah.
things like that you think, oh, I really do miss them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's beautiful to be able to feel that, and
Yeah.
to really like be in the midst of your life and love your life, and then you have a moment of grief and actually allow yourself to feel it.
Mm.
And it taught people around me and all my friends and people I coach so much, because I actually am in the fullness of feeling it all. And
Yeah.
that means that sometimes there will be tears and a bit of snot flying, and then a few minutes later I'm perfectly okay.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed that about you, and that we could play in the playground where feeling is normal and healthy and beautiful, and the path to home.
Absolutely.
So with you having gone through sexual trauma, to me as well, you don't feel, well, at least me, I'll speak for myself. Like I wouldn't feel, and I'd get really super smart, and I'd be 3 steps ahead and make sure everybody on the outside is taken care of, so that there's no disappointment or anything that would trigger any of the shit going on under the chin. And now look at you, so beautifully embracing grief and sharing with your family and clients, etc. So tell us a little bit about your journey of healing to feel again.
Beautiful, because that really is it, right?
Yeah.
So I was sexually molested and raped quite early on, and I kind of like, I told my mom, and she said, yeah, that's what uncles do. So it's like, okay. So
Oh
it
my.
kind of got normalized. So I'm like, okay. And then quite violently when I was 18 by 5 guys. And my friend and I both escaped from that place, and we never talked about it again. We didn't report it because there was all that shame. It's like, I must have brought this on somehow.
Right.
My husband and the father of my kids didn't even know about it. And it's only until I started working on myself
Yes.
that all of this started coming out again. I got divorced from him, went into a different relationship with 3 kids. So we had 7 children, overgiving, until at one point my body gave up. I started fainting. I couldn't walk more than a meter without fainting or unaided, which was really tough. Women in our 50s, very vibrant, and then all of a sudden couldn't do anything. So that's really what had me think like, hey, I've got to feel.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew very much what I didn't want.
Yes.
And I had loads of advice for everyone else what they should be doing.
Of course.
Should. And I didn't know very much about myself. So fast forward, that obviously has taken about 10 years to really settle, to work somatically, to work with a therapist, to work with accelerated evolution, with lots of other things. And really, you start to feel, or once I started to feel again, it was like, the camera was in full focus. I could see all the things, and it wasn't so numb anymore and so dimmed. But it also meant that the things that weren't so pleasant, I could also feel those.
Yes. Yes.
Right. And that at first was like, oh, I kind of like don't want to feel all of that.
Totally. Oh yeah. When you receive, you receive all. It's either receive
That's
nothing
it.
or receive all, right? So if you're going to feel, you're going to feel it all, from the orgasmic bliss to the terror and rage and hopelessness, like the whole gamut. Did you navigate the intensity of what it is to feel?
Mm-hmm. And rage, that's such a good one. I mean, that's a part that I went through, and I was so afraid of my rage.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, I was so afraid of what it would do to others. But
sure.
then once you can actually be in that rage and find that power in that, and it's like so scrumptious and yummy and delicious, and people are like, oh man, like trying to like get me angry. It's like, come bring it on.
Yeah, I love it. I so love it. I'm just thinking of that moment, the last party we were at together. And when you were like, we were doing our little moment, I'm like, you've come into alignment with your power in all of its flavor. And as women, I'll just speak for being women, but for any human, the misuse of power, that's a problem. It's a problem.
Completely.
Right? So how have you navigated your ferociousness?
It's funny because I always thought I was like the light, feminine, and angelic, and beautiful, and lovely. Yeah.
Not for me, but
Until I went into my darkness, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, this is pretty hot." I mean, not surprisingly, I was a dom for a few years,
okay.
but really like that power play, because as a dom, it's your job to really feel the other person, right?
Okay.
And
I have a lot of questions about this, so keep going. Yeah.
people keep thinking it's like, yeah, you inflict pain and this and that. It's like, no, not at all. You actually see how you can open them.
Yes.
So my clients were used to be people from the Middle East. They're big companies. They'd fly over. We'd go out to dinner, and I would just take over. And often I wouldn't even touch them, but it would just be that power play. It's like, no, you don't get to decide anything. I will do that for you.
Look at you with your
So
quiet.
yes, I loved my that's where I really got into my darkness. And also I had to do a lot of shadow work, because I got some clients that wanted me to be really sadistic, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Mm.
So yeah, so that was some shadow work, and some real heart soul searching. It's like, oh, do I have that in me? And then you kind of realize, yeah, I have everything in me. I have the whole range of like an angel to a massive sadist in me.
Totally. All of us.
Don't want to all bring it out, but it's like, yeah, I do
there.
have it. And when there's no charge, like we know, then it doesn't matter.
Great. We have choice. Yeah. Whoa. Okay. So there was the marriage, and then there was another marriage, and then there was 7.
We didn't get married. We were together, but yes.
Relationship. And then there was back to husband number 1 and the 4 again. Did I get that right?
We're really good friends. No, I'm not with him, but we speak up at least twice a week. I was with him all day yesterday and night, and then just with our kids. It was
still friends and co-parenting.
Completely. Yeah. Yeah. It's been 10 years. We're actually, I think we're better friends than we were when we were married.
Wow. That's beautiful. Wow.
Yeah,
and where did the dom come into this in your evolution with relationships as well? Were you single when that was your chosen vocation?
That was after our marriage. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you even get into that?
How
does one do that?
I was in a workshop, and I remembered my rape. I was getting flogged by someone, and I remembered it. I mean, my body just remembered, and it just, I had visions, everything. And I was like, and just like, I was getting flogged on my shoulders, and I was like, okay, so I've got to reenact this. So this is in San Francisco. I flew back to London, and I found a dom. Okay, so this is what happened to me when I was 20. For many years, 20 odd years, I buried it. Now I know I want to work with it, and the only way that I feel that I can move it is by reenacting it. So we did that. He got 5 guys. We reenacted the whole thing, but then powerful that, with a different ending. So that it then feels better. And
what was your ending?
My ending was just that when I said no and I pushed them away, they all left. They all like,
Understood.
Yeah, they all got
Were you
off.
like sobbing, or were you like euphoric, like, or both?
I think both. Sobbing, screaming, but actually being able to fight back, because the time that I wasn't, I fought back, but I was held. And here this time they actually heard me. So that was great. But the dom was like, hey, you'd make an incredible dom. Can I dom train you? So I did that for a while. And then I think I played at a party with some people, and word of mouth is how it kind of got out.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And the greatest gift from that period of time was that a big thing of water? I was like, is that a lot of milk? Did you really like milk or something?
Huge thing of water. That's my water.
Oh, wow, she really likes milk.
Oh, no, I don't do that. We Dutch do drink a lot of milk, but I'm like, yeah. I think really the biggest thing for me there was that I can handle it all, and I don't have to sweep anything under the carpet. It's all part of me, and the past doesn't define me. My trauma doesn't define me, but it's part of who I am. But I never really call myself a trauma survivor, or people ask me, it's like, have you had trauma? It's like, yeah. But so have most people. So.
Correct. Totally.
I mean, the way I define trauma is something that happened too fast, too soon, too rapid for your body or your mind to comprehend.
Correct.
So that means that, pretty much everyone's had trauma.
I agree. I totally agree. Some level of it. Yeah. And to be able to have the experience to know, not even think, no, I can handle it all.
Yeah.
Like
for me, it was just like all of a sudden my body opened up, and it was like, whoa, I can feel all of this. It felt super powerful to be able to feel that.
Yes.
I think, over the years I had numbed myself out.
Yeah.
It was like, a good marriage. We had 2 houses, house here, house abroad in Lebanon, shopping. I mean, every beautiful holidays. It was, but you would just get more and more and more things. So it'd be like, I'd go to the gym a lot, or I'd shop a lot, or I'd go out with my friends, or but it was always like, oh, can I just because it felt uncomfortable being really intimate and showing myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Why did you choose to, or maybe you haven't stopped, but did you choose to stop that and shift the way you show up in the world or work with people, or how's it evolved and why?
So funny thing is, my ex-husband and 4 kids are Muslim. So I started getting into conscious sexuality. They vaguely know about the Dom, not much, but I led orgasmic meditation, which was a movement 10 years ago or so, and that really helped to open up women, especially, and asking like, hey, can you knowing how to make requests, to ask for something, which we usually don't know what to ask for. How do we even know how we want to be touched?
Right.
Do we even know ourselves? And most of the time that's it, right? My clients now, when I talk to them, they're like, I don't know what I want, but I don't want that. It's like, yes, great. So let's start with what you do want. So that for me was super empowering. I still use parts of it. I think I've become a bit less in your face only sexuality. I mean, that's still a deep part. If people want to go deeper in that, absolutely. But I've noticed what most couples and women that I work with miss is they miss feeling safe to go into sensuality, into actually using all their senses for pleasure. They're not like pleasure. It's such a loaded word. Pleasure's like, oh, it has to be sexual. And I was like, no, let's just take sex off the table altogether. And what brings you joy? What how do you feel the light? So it's still there. I mean, my current partner is a Dom too, so it's interesting when we go to play parties. We're a Dom couple.
Wow. How did you meet them, and what works about that relationship for you? Is it the equal energetic capacity? Is that what is the match? Or
it's quite interesting. Because together we can switch, right? And plus we don't always bring kink into the bedroom. It's a power play often. I think what works really well is because in my work I hold so much that sometimes I can just like relax into that. It's like, okay, you can hold the power now. Thank you very much.
I get that. And based on the cultural and the kids and all the rest of it, do your children know the depth of what you do? Or like, are you completely free to share with them now, or do you just share little bits and pieces? Or
I share little bits and pieces. I mean, if they watch any of my or listen to any of my podcasts, they'll know. And I think they actually all know. But I used to walk around with a t-shirt saying the pussy knows. And my sons were, I think, 15 and 16 at that point. And they used to always like bring friends over, and they're like, Mom, yeah, already my friends think you're a MILF. Please, you have to wear that.
oh my God, I love that. Was that like a Mama Gina shirt, or is that?
Yeah, it was yeah, same kind of thing, completely.
Yeah. I love it. I remember my license plate. I think when my son was like 3 or 4, when my license plate said "sexy mom," and I remember overhearing him one time say, "My mom has the sexy mom company," and like. And then I thought, I don't know, maybe that's a little too much to give him at 4. Maybe I should just keep it off a little more to the side rather than, but it was like an expression of, I will not be held down by my own shame. Sometimes I, sort of swing the other direction a little bit. But I remember even when he was older, do you want a job? So he had to transcribe my videos, for SEO and all the rest of that. And he says, Mom, I can't do it. I can't handle hearing you talk about sex. I can't do it. I need another job. So I'm like, that's fine, but all in time. Wow.
Oh, cute, right? But the funny thing, it's really rubbed off on that man, and especially one of my twins. I've got 2 boys and then twin girls, 21.
Oh, wow.
And one of them has just been giving advice to other people, has been teaching them how to feel and how to read. It's like, no, be open, like, so she gives relationship advice. She comes and asks me first, and of course I've coached her and her boyfriend before. So
wow.
it's just been so interesting to see how much they actually take on without knowing it.
Yes.
Just communication with each other. Like the other day, my ex-husband was talking about someone. I'm like, hey, let's just not do that. We don't talk about other people. They're back when they're all here. Yeah, that's cool. But you see, in just in our family, let's just not do that, because it just makes life so much easier.
Yes.
And he's like, yeah, you're actually right. Let's not triage. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. How we be, they pick up on our energy. They pick up on. I was just saying to one of my clients, I was remembering the quantum physicist that I like to geek out on an interview, that they said 0.01%, not 0.1, 0.01%, we can see, touch, matter. 99.9% we can't see energy. So there's so much connection in this other realm, which is so delicious.
It's so cool, isn't it? Because that's just the whole quantum field, and then that's the bit that people feel, right?
Yes. So when you're helping, let's go back to when you're helping. So you mostly work with women, or only work with women?
It's mostly women. Yeah.
Okay.
There are couples as well, but it's mostly women.
Got it.
I think I might do a course for men soon, though.
Okay.
Because I've had a lot of men come up to me and just saying, can you just do a course for men to be with powerful women?
Oh, that's really good. That's really, really good. Yeah.
Like, what do we do here? How do we support them the best?
Yeah. Well, let's go there for a second. I'll go back to the woman in a minute. What do you think what do you want to teach them? Juliette, what do you want to tell these guys?
Well, you know what? As powerful women also want to come home and actually relax, right?
Yes.
And not have to wear the reins and not have to hold everything. So that's where we actually want to switch off and have someone that understands us, that does want to hear about our day. Like all women, we want to be understood. We want attention. What we crave most for is attention. So have proper attention on your woman. And little things that, of course, the love languages are fun to see what kind of how they receive stuff, if it's acts of service, if it's words of affirmation. For me, acts of service are like the best. So
okay,
if you can go wash my car and put petrol in it and all that kind of stuff, I'm like super happy. And I feel really loved. I mean, of course, I touch and everything else as well. But when I'm super busy, just to not have to think about these things. It's
hello. Yeah. I totally agree. You don't know this, but I'm living in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming. And on 15 acres and there's 9 horses. There's only 2 right now. They took all the boys off to hunt and the 2 girl horses are still here. But when they mow my lawn for me, it makes me really, really happy.
I know.
Yeah, like really happy. So yeah.
Completely, right? I mean, I'm the same thing. Our grass guy came yesterday and I just got home to it this morning or this afternoon, like, oh my God, it's mowed. Yay.
Right? Oh, that's so
Today
good.
the hedge cutters were there. I'm like, yay. It means I don't have to do it all.
Beautiful. So I'm in total alignment with your insights for the gentleman. Back over to the women in terms of feeling safe to receive, safe to feel, safe to enjoy sensuality and pleasure beyond just genital copulation. All like when I'm in my happy place, when I'm in my alignment, I'm making love with life. Like I'm making love all day long with everything. And when I'm not in my happy place and I'm not feeling, or I'm shut off, or I'm too in my mind and I'm attached to the result and I do all that, you could give me the world and I wouldn't appreciate it at all. So let's talk about that. How do you help women to open, feel safe to receive? That's a good start right there.
Right? It's like slow down and breathe a little bit. And if we can just like take the head off altogether, take the monkey, like chop off your head. One of my teachers used to say, Chakalize, he's like, your mind always lies to you. Do not trust it.
Thank you.
And of course, like my partner now, we take that with a pinch of salt, and he's like, no, but he's a lawyer, obviously. So,
okay.
But part of it is like, can we just keep the mind out of it for a little bit, and can we just take a breath? So my first exercise I teach everyone's like, put a timer on 3 times a day for 1 minute, because no one can tell me that they don't have 3 times 1 minute for themselves.
Thank you.
Because that's the first thing, right? Oh, I don't have time for that. I can't do it. It's like, and then just check in, do a body check. Take a breath in, exhale out through your mouth. Then again. And then 1 third time. And then just notice what's alive. What's happening. We don't have the vocabulary often for sensations that are happening in our body. Vibration, clenching. Is it buttery? Is it soft? Is it warm? Is it cold? But just to focus on one part of your body. I mean, for me, let's focus on fingertips. The moment I feel electricity in my fingertips, especially around my thumb, and it feels like a zigzaggy, I mean, I can see the gold light, but that's besides it. It feels like a zigzaggy gold electricity, like very short staccato, and it's warm, not uncomfortable, and it's going down my thumb. That amount of specificity. And also if you're with a partner and if they're asking you like, how are you feeling? It's very easy to say, I'm sad, or I'm this, or I'm that. I'm like, can you give me a body reveal? Can you give me a body sensation? So like my partner would say, I love you. And I said, good. Tell me, what does that feel like in your body right now to love you? And be like, no, I want to know. Because when you give me a body reveal like that, if you tell me, it's like, well, I have this butterflies in my tummy and they're warm and they're moving around and my heart feels warm and I just feel like expanded and I just want to grab you and kiss you. It's like, you understand, right, what I'm talking about, because you can feel it in your own body.
Totally.
But if you just say, oh, I just love you, it's like, yeah, thank you. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It's starting to have the understanding about it, having some vocabulary, and also like really bring it back down to proper needs. Like, what are our needs? Are we eating? Do we have a house? Are we financially secure? Because if all of that, like Maslow's pyramid, is that not working, then you know what? You're not gonna tap into your sensuality. You're not gonna feel safe enough to let go.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I love this. I love this. I miss the conversations we've had a couple of years ago, because it's such a rich experience when you can meet a friend, a sister, you can work with a coach, you have a lover who you can drop in, and it's not just thought.
Yeah.
It's emotion, it's body sensation, it's image, it's color, it's taste, it's all of these things. The smallest of experiences can be the richest of experiences. Yeah.
Completely. And then, you smell your water bottle and it's like, oh, you actually learn how to taste things,
Yes.
how to see things in a completely different way, and how to even maybe not even touch your hand, but just go a little bit above it. See
Yes.
if the hairs start raising. And
Yes.
really, like, building that curiosity. It's like, oh, this is like a wonderful vessel. It's the only vessel I'm going to get. And I might have abused it for a few years and, not being so nice to it. But hey, I'm going to start loving this vessel that I'm in.
You're reminding me of as a little girl. I was born in Vancouver, but we moved up to the inland. And when we'd go back down to Vancouver, my mom would take us to the Vancouver hotel, and we'd have our lunch, and she goes, taste the water. And because it tasted and the mountain mineral water. And I was like, it's water. But she, from a very early age, began to show me this sensuality. I remember when she was really in it. I remember when she really lost that and went into survival. And then when she died young, like your sister, of cancer, and what happens. So circling back to you and the wake-up call of the last operation 2 weeks ago. And you're obviously a master at this. You live it, you teach it, you've evolved so much. And this is inviting, by the sounds of it, an even deeper sense of connection and honor and prioritizing of self. It's only been 2 weeks, but what do you think's being invited in your life?
Completely. So I know that the last 2 weeks I have not gone on Facebook. I have not posted anything on social media. I haven't been Instagram, Facebook, nothing. And it's really going inwards and meditating. I haven't actually written much. I was writing a book before this, and now I'm just like, you know what? No. And it's, my kids, 2 of them are in Lebanon at the moment, 2 of them are back in London. So it's like I'm trying to be with them as much as I can, and with my partner. And it's also like relaxing, going for walks, picking flowers. Like today I lifted too much, so like my scars are really hurting today. So I'm like, oh, okay, not so good. And then taking a nap in the middle of the afternoon. It's like, you know what? That's it. I've stopped all my programs for now. I'm like, okay, I'm just taking a break. It's summertime. People are perfect with that. I have my handful of private clients that I do coach. Last week of the month is always a week off, so that I don't have anyone. Everyone can recalibrate, and it's just wonderful. I take slow walks because at the moment that's all I can do. And that's perfect. And I stop a lot. I do half an hour walk, and that's about it.
Wow. I love this. And if you were to hear the message from the lump or the cysts or your body in general speaking to you, these actions of the last week of the month off, slow walks, putting things on hold for a while, the book will get done when it gets done. So those feel like very, very nourishing actions to take. And what was the core message of your body speaking to you through the cyst or the lump? What did it say?
Just surrender. Surrender. Slow down. It's not a race.
Beautiful.
All right. It's been so fast the last few years. It's been like, and now it's like, it's not a race. It's, this is you. So it's really, it's been very, very nourishing to be able to do that and actually come into a place of like restoration.
Yeah.
And so often we think that is, we can't get things done. But actually that's where you fill up, and that's where you restore, and that's where you fill that cup up to overflowing.
Yeah.
And only then does it feel really pleasurable to, have a client or to run a program. And at the moment I'm like, no, I think tomorrow we're going to a retreat, which couples retreat, tantra retreat. I'm like, I'll do what I can. If not, I'll just be there and have a good time and lie around and be in that energy. And that's perfect too.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. And for those that are watching or listening, this idea of slowing down, feeling safe, restoring, surrendering is motherfucking terrifying to
Oh,
let,
yes, it is.
right? Well, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh. Yeah, if you told me that 15 years ago, I'd be like, ah, I
Right?
can't do that. What else can I do? Come on, give me some more
Yeah.
stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's taken me a long time.
Hmm.
Taken me a long time. I remember some of my first personal development things. People would put me in that really nice leather chair and they'd say, you're at effect. You can't do anything. You can't get up and do things. If you want a cup of tea, you have to ask exactly for how you want it. If you want this, that, if you want a little stool, get someone to get it for you. And I was like, oh my God, that's so demanding. It's like, be demanding.
Wow.
That's it, because as women, we're taught to not be demanding and not to be high maintenance.
Yeah.
Actually, if you're very high maintenance, but you can communicate it in a way which is loving,
Yes.
you're setting up your partners for success.
Yes. And then appreciative at the
Yes,
end of it,
absolutely.
right? Yeah.
And I mean, who doesn't want to help someone? And who
Yes.
doesn't want to, if someone asks you in a beautiful way, it's like, oh, darling, would you mind getting me that chair and just help me that? It's like, of course.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
thank you so much. That was very generous of you, or whatever,
Yeah.
But
Totally.
it's just, people are so delighted. I mean, I love doing things for others, and to understand that doing and giving to others, but not receiving, was actually really selfish.
Ah.
Right? That took me, I mean, some medicine journeys, some other things, but I was like, whoa, oh my God, I've been giving and giving and giving, but I could never receive for years.
Yes. Wow. Beautiful. I was doing some body work and my lower back was bothering me. And in the exercise, I just surrendered to my body and let it show me what it was telling me. And when I allowed my body, I was laying on my back, when I allowed my legs to come up and my arms to move without me doing anything, no control, zero, my lower back, there was no pain whatsoever. It's like,
Isn't it amazing?
this next level for me is about even more surrender, even more faith, and even more use me.
Yeah.
And there was
come through me.
What's that? Come through me. Yeah.
Me. Right. Yeah.
And then the pain went away. And as soon as I'm like trying to control it or do whatever, and then they're like, see, I'm like, okay. But it was like, I can accomplish so much more with so much more grace and ease in this total surrender, but it requires the next level of faith. I have my own back, no matter what. What did you say at the beginning of this? I can handle it all. Whatever comes, I can handle it all. So I can let go. The orgasmic meditation, the body reveal, like all the things we've just talked about today is sort of brought us back to me, like to have more this way is deeper roots, or more surrender, to receive more. If I can only ask for this much or receive this much, this is as big as my life is. But this much requires even more letting go. But
and absolutely, and sometimes it feels like you're stepping off an abyss and you have no idea what's gonna catch you.
Pretty much,
like, if anything's gonna catch you, it's like,
whoa, I'm just gonna learn how to fly.
And that feels like my life. And
Yeah.
2 of my kids are dyslexic and they find change very difficult.
Okay.
So when they see that with me, and their lives at the moment are also a little bit up and down, and I mean, 3 of the 4 are leaving England, and like, what's happening? but they're also starting to trust themselves.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. They're like, you know what? We've got this. And
Ooh.
it doesn't matter what mama or baba, daddy, Arabic for
Uh-huh.
daddy, do or yet, yeah, like what I say is like, we've given them roots and wings.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what you do for your kids. And of course,
Totally.
good education and all that as well. But it's like, give them roots and wings and like, off you go, my loves.
It's so
A little bit
beautiful.
bittersweet, I must say. I'm kind of
Oh,
like,
I hear
oh,
you.
they're
I
all
feel
leaving
you.
me.
Mine's 19 now, so I'm feeling it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we got to do this again, or maybe some IG lives whenever you feel like stopping your walk after your tantra retreat or whatever, like no rush. But really loving this conversation. I want people to know feelfullyu.com. Feelfullyu.com is how you find Juliette. There's lots of delicious ways to play with her when she decides to do more programs in the future, but definitely get in her world, get in her list, follow her on social media, etc. Let's complete with this. All that you've done is really about being able to trust yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's a lot of uncertainty for so many people, whether they're your children living in different places, or it's the price of gas or inflation or the pandemic. Like there's reasons for all of us to not trust out there, clearly, which is totally fine, not preferable, but doable when we can trust ourselves and know that we can handle anything, right? So let's finish this with your thoughts on trust.
Completely. And that's the whole thing, where we try to micromanage everything and are so controlling. That's when we don't actually trust. But the moment, like, I remember my dad had dementia, and it only came to light after my sister passed away. And he had said that he didn't want to become one of vegetables. He wanted to have euthanasia, but of course his dementia had gone too far. So I knew that he was going to die around New Year's. So we didn't go anywhere. And on the 1st of January, I was on a train to Belgium. And I remember seeing him, and all of a sudden he was kind of like alive. He could understand me. And I said, Dad, I've called the doctor. So what's going to happen is they're going to give you an injection, and you're basically, you're not going to breathe anymore. You're going to stop breathing. And the relief in his face. Wow. And he said, oh my God, thank God, I've been wanting this for 2 years. I said, I know, Daddy, I know. And I had a near-death experience. And I told it to my sister, and then I told it to my dad as well. I said, baby, what happened to me is I went through a dark tunnel, and then I just went to the light, and I became one with the air and the sound and everything. And his face is like, oh. So when he took his last breath, it was like completely trust. I had never seen my father at such peace. Wow. Yeah, I've had this with my sister, my father, and then with my mother a few months afterwards. And it's like, oh, that trust of knowing I'm going back to where I came from. So it really, really was beautiful. And then I see it with some of my clients. I have some mothers that their kids committed suicide, and they're like, how are we ever going to find joy again? Yeah. And then actually you see them get into that state, and into that pleroma, into that oneness. And it's like, yes. This is what's possible. Yeah. It's like, yes, remember, just let go. And it sounds so easy. It is easy if you can shut this off. Right? If you can shut off the mind that says, oh, but I can't do it. But if meditation helps. There's so many different ways of getting into that pleroma state, into that oneness state. And that is how you also create the whole new neural pathways, and how you start trusting, how your body starts knowing what to do without your mind getting in the way. Yeah, exactly. And how you can be that as a mother, as a lover, as a business owner, going for a walk, all of it. Yeah. And it was funny, like earlier on this year, I had this 1 month that I was like, oh, I just hustled, I knew money was going to come in, and then it didn't, and I was blocking. And my mentor just said, it's like, you don't trust unless it's in your bank account. And I was like, ooh, okay. Yes, there's some crosswire there. It's like, someone has wholly said that they're going to be my new client for X amount, and this was coming through. And the moment I let go of that tightness of wanting to know it and just surrendered, the next day or 2 days later, I woke up and there was $500,000 in my bank account.
Not bad.
Right?
Not bad at all.
It's really just trusting and knowing that it's already there.
Beautiful, beautiful. It has been so delicious to reconnect. I'm so glad our paths crossed and then have crossed again. Please, anything you ever need that I can support you with.
Thank you.
Continuing to dance. Please take good care of your belly.
I will.
And your being. Yeah.
I will. This is so much fun. And yes, we'd love to do. Let's connect and then just keep dancing in this little game of life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So all of you watching, there has been nugget after nugget in this conversation. My request is you take some moments after and reflect and write down what really touched you the most, and be willing to take one action, whether it was the 1 minute 3 times a day that Juliette was saying, or anything else that we've spoken of, so that your life trajectory literally just changed because of this conversation that you nourished yourself with. Because over time, that little change, you will end up in a completely different reality. So we are honored and privileged that we could love you today, and take that action. Be sure you go to feelfullyu.com. And Juliette, just stay so I can officially say goodbye to you after I press record or stop on record. And just know, thank you for being willing, all of you, to slow down and deepen your intimate relationship with yourself. Until next time. Thank you for joining us for another edgy, transparent episode. I invite you to dive deeper with our intimacy blind spot assessment found at alanapratt.com, so you can stop unknowingly repelling the very love, intimacy, and connection you desire. Thank you for being who you are. I love the shit out of you. So until next time, I've got your back.